Call the meeting to order at 5:33. May I get a roll call, please?
Board Member Dina Flores,
Present.
Board Member Dolores Rivera,
Here.
Board Member Aaron Cimental, Board Member Patrice Tanzioni, Board Member Armando Barajas, Superintendent Dr. Alejandro Alvarez, Dr. Medina Pinar, Marisela Barba, Amico Lino Lasco. Thank you.
Board member, if I could just remind everyone to speak into the mic so they can hear it out in the wing, and in public, or, Zoom and YouTube. So just please remember to turn on your mic whenever responding. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda of the regular board meeting, May 9th, 2023? Motion by Board Member Stanzioni, second by Board Member Barajas. Okay. Open session. So can I get Board Member Barajas, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Oh, wait. I did. Yeah. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Now let's do it.
Raise that. Raise your right hand over your heart. Ready? You're good. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving right along, board members, Stephanie Mendoza.
Sundays Elementary announcement. Sundays Elementary is extremely excited to announce the recent certification of the 22 students from the English Career Program. We are so proud of our Sundays hikers and enjoy celebrating them as their families at our classification ceremony. We have also had a successful start to our some Smarter Balancing test, which way to go third to first graders keep the hard work. Manrique Elementary School announcement. Manrique has been busy getting ready for testing. All digital units and district benchmarks are now on TK. First graders are starting LSAT testing this week. Our third graders have begun SBAC testing. The teachers and instructional aides have been working diligently planning and preparing our scholars student test. We had our kinder roundup on April 2nd. Parents were invited to teach them by the principal and also take the tour of the kindergarten and elementary school. This past Friday, we had a kindergarten festival with amazing success. We had vendors performing by our students, our Beverly High School band, the political dancers, and even Aztec dancers. The families really enjoyed themselves, and it was a wonderful way to bring our family community together. But the biggest is we are family party is represented in your family and opportunity to be open and happy. Bundling announcements. We had an extra assembly and recognized students who reached the meet or exceed levels to change. Those students were treated to ice cream, chips, drinks, and the opportunity to dunk Mr. Ariane in the dunk tank at the end of the day. Our eighth graders attended College Prep Day at Dodger Stadium on May 3rd, where they visited with over 30 colleges and got to watch the Dodgers win. Teacher appreciation our PTA will be providing daily treats for staff and lunch on Friday. Staff will also go to the team Kona Ice. The Kona Ice team will be on campus this Thursday for staff, students, and families who also have the opportunity to purchase. Track and field / festival banquet will be next Tuesday, May 16th at the DJ is urging kindergarten on Fridays, May 5th, 19th, and 26th. An opportunity for a future to play in Henderson Senior Campus on Saturday classroom. Our GOP joining Crystal has been helping families with school life and team press. We are here to present how to leaders slash families in need. Church Middle School, our children have been busy with our second week of testing and we're having all the hard work our students and teachers have done so far. We begin our math test this week with one of our students who met last year on the time of the year and especially our people of families. Our students are very hard. Last week, we had an amazing our students did an amazing job under the direction of Mr. Campbell. We also had the privilege of doing emerging bilingual students during our teaching ceremony. We're proud of all our working. It's always a great day to meet our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Moving right along, we'd like to go into staff presentation recognition. We will begin with PTA Cynthia Garcia. Cynthia Garcia.
Thank you, Board President. We're calling Cindy Garcia. Oh, here she is. She's working her way through this. Thank you. Yes.
It's on.
Speak into it.
Good evening. I'm Cynthia Barajas Garcia, the Secretary for the Bassett PTA Council. Our PTA and PTSA worked very hard this year. Unit presidents worked with their units to ensure they were in compliance as per the respective bylaws. The presidents also met and worked together, sharing their expertise and knowledge. We're proud to say that our units are all in compliance with their bylaws, taxes, and insurance. Bassett Council hosted the District Reflections Award Dinner on April 19th at Don Julian Elementary School. Students received awards in several areas: dance choreography, literature, photography, film production, music composition, and visual arts. Congratulations to all of those who participated, and a big thank you to all of you who joined us in celebrating their success. On April 24th, First District PTA held their annual awards meeting. 3 of our units received awards. Our 4th unit had a bit of a late start this year, but they're already going strong, and we're looking forward to great things from them. The following are the awards, and I'd like to present them to the unit presidents that have joined us this evening. The Repotting Challenge was given to units that joined Totem during the 2022-23 school year. And Totem means that they had membership joining online rather than paper. And so our Bassett High School PTSA received that award. So congratulations to Bassett High School PTSA. Members who increased by at least 10 more members this year. Those units receiving the award are Don Julian Elementary School, PTA President Paola Rubalcaba, Elementary School PTA President Maria Chavez Romero. Is the president here? Thank you. All right, the next award is called Halfway There. Given to those units whose remitting membership was equal to or greater than their entire 2021-22 membership. Congratulations to Don Julian Elementary School PTA, Paola Rubalcaba, President. Congratulations to Scientist Elementary School PTA, Maria Chavez Romero, President. Founders Day Membership Challenge. For submitting 17 new memberships in the month of February. Congratulations, Don Julian Elementary School PTA President Paola Rubalcaba. Congratulations to all our units, for they know that teamwork definitely makes the dream work. Thank you all for your time and attention.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Moving on, Community Schools Initiative.
Thank you, Board President. I'd like to introduce Estela Peregrina, who is working with the district from Laco at Bassett High School for a Community Schools Initiative Program. This is a grant that started, I think, 2019. It wasn't fully able to be implemented and launched due to the pandemic, but since we've been coming back, they've been working hard on really building the program. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Peregrino.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Board President Flores, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Alvarez, cabinet members, and guests. If you build it, they will come. The kind of school we would send our own children to. And it brings me great joy to be here once again and give you an update on the great work happening at Bassett High School with the transformation into becoming a community school. When I was presenting to you over a year and a half ago, I will be honest and transparent to say that as a new community school specialist, I couldn't fully wrap my head around the work that was ahead of me. So to refresh our memories and tie in with the proof of the amazing work happening at Bassett, I have this presentation for you today, but I will say that all of this starts with purpose. My purpose, your purpose for Bassett and its community, and making sure that our students also have a purpose. So I will start with our mission. So our mission is to disrupt inequities and break the cycle of poverty by leveraging assets to transform schools into hubs of the community with authentic collaborative leadership at the center. We believe students, staff, and families and communities are essential partners to ensure all are seen, valued, and supported. So it all starts with who's the team. So we have the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Public Health, the California Community Schools Partnership Program, Greater LA Education Foundation, and these are all of our partners. So in the grant, there was 15 schools and Bassett is one of them. And as you can see, there's many community partners. This is not just one Lego piece. This is a lot of moving parts. So the community at Bassett High School, first of all, it's the funding. And so we get to plan out what happens after 2026-27. So I've been visiting other community schools. I know that they have it through their LCAP, and we want to make sure that this is not something that comes and then disappears. So we have to be mindful of that. So there's one full-time community school specialist, that's myself, and a full-time education community worker. And the services continue to coordinate and implement the CCSPP framework. So we are not, I know it's hard to wrap your head around it, just entertain me for a second. We think it's a program, but really it's a framework, and you'll see evidence of what that framework looks like. So this here could last my whole presentation, but I'm going to cover just really quickly the 4 pillars that we stand by and we believe in. So we believe and we create goals. The school creates goals around these 4 pillars. So integrated student supports, family and community engagement, collaborative leadership and practices, and extended learning time and opportunities. And you'll see examples of that. So the 4 cornerstone commitments are asset-driven and strengths-based, and you'll see how that's happening organically at Bassett High School. So we believe in racially just and restorative school climates, powerful, culturally proficient, and relevant instruction. So that's huge. We're not just a program creating and bringing services, we're in the classroom as well, and you'll see how that works. We have a shared decision-making and participatory practices. So we have an advisory council, and we have community partners that are part of the community, and they also take part in creating the goals for the school. So the 4 key conditions of learning. So we have a supportive environment, productive instructional strategies, social and emotional learning, and systems of support. The 4 proven practices are community asset mapping. So we do surveys for parents, students, and staff. So we're not just creating goals just to create goals. We want to know where are the gaps and where is it that we need to support our staff, our students, and our community. I'm the community schools coordinator. We have site-based and LEA-based advisory councils. Again, that's the advisory council, and we have parents and students and staff on that advisory council. So everybody's on the same page. Integrated and aligning with other relevant programs. So we don't want to have programs just to have programs. We want to make sure that we're coordinating them and we're not having students serviced by 3 different programs. We want to make sure that we're mainstreaming and we're all communicating. So this is a really neat slide because we're able to see the data, right? We want to show numbers. So since 2019, just looking at these numbers, how many meetings have we had? How many donations have we received? Over $23,000 in donations. That's just donations. So leveraging the assets that already exist in the community. How many families have been serviced? I mean, we have over 2,000 connections that we've made. So just looking at this graph alone, you can see the numbers. So we have in-school partners. So we have ASB, our business pathway, our health pathway, Eagleson, the Wellbeing Center, Margaret's Place, Pacific Clinics. And these are just, we all sit in one space and talk about students. So this is amazing, and it's not happening in other local high schools. This is happening at Bassett High School. And these are our community partners. So we have Pacific Clinics, Foothill Family Services, the Department of Mental Health. So we're leveraging what we already have and is existing, and we're basically taking everything we can and putting it into our community. So the 4 pillars in action, this is where I told you we have the proof. So just so that to give you a snapshot, so integrated student supports. So we have our students telling teachers, these are the best strategies. This is what Believe works. This is what helps us learn. And then we go back to the teachers and say, teachers, this is not what admin is saying. This is what students are saying. Students are saying, this is how they best learn. And then the teachers practice. This is what works in the classroom. So we're leveraging, again, what we already have, the students, right? Telling us, these are the best teachers. These are the teachers that help us be engaged. And after COVID, we know how important it is to be engaged. Family and community engagement. You'll hear a little bit about our students that opened up and built an empty classroom into a boutique. Again, leveraging the needs of the community. We found basic needs supports were important. So we have a boutique that services our families, our communities, our students. They go and they thrift shop with integrity. And this was all student-led. And you'll hear a little bit about our business pathway and teaching kids. What does a business enterprise look like? And so they're learning project-based learning. Family community engagement. As you see, look at how engaged our parents look in that picture. We brought one of our community partners to talk about what services they offer. And our parents are glued and they're listening. What will best support my child? And again, these are services that exist already in the community. We're just bringing them in and connecting our parents. Collaborative leadership practices. So I'm part of School Site Council and the Guiding Coalition. So I'm able to hear what the needs are of staff and what the needs are of parents. And I'm sort of like the glue. Like I bring it together and we all make decisions. So at the top, we have a student-led group. It's called the OSLC, the Olympian Student Leadership Council. And we know we have ASB and they're amazing, right? But we wanted to ask teachers, what students do you see leadership potential in? So we had the entire Bassett community nominate students to create another group of students so we can get voice. And we want to hear, what do you want the cell phone policy to look like? And then we take it to the parents. What do you want the cell phone policy to look like? Then we ask teachers, what would you like it to look like? So then we're getting everybody moving and it's creating a climate of, that is my school and I'm going to take ownership because they're listening to me and my voice. My parents are here, they're supporting me, and that is a community school. It's not just resources. It's creating a place where students want to be. Expanded learning opportunities. And there is the inauguration of the Burke Boutique. Again, named by students. The Burke is Bassett Resource Center. And again, the students named that place. And down here, this is amazing. And I will stop talking soon. We have a student there that once the boutique was built, we needed managers and assistant managers. And so we created a panel for them to apply, create resumes, and get letters of recommendations from the teachers. And what makes you a student that's gonna have the skills to run this place? So that's their own store. And right there, I believe that student, he's an assistant manager. Yes, he's an assistant manager. And then the management team, and you'll hear from Eric. Eric is our manager, by the way. They also got to interview their team. So now they're learning all of these skills. And again, these are things that already exist at Bassett High School. So evidence of success. So we've had several visits from the California Department of Education. Back in December, Mr. Steve Zimmer said, I want to go visit Bassett High School. I hear there's great things happening. He loved it and then just asked last week, hey, can I bring my other friends from the California Department of Ed? Because this is amazing and you've got to see how Bassett is leveraging assets that they already have. So they came to visit and we have other school districts literally knocking at the door wanting to see how is it that they're doing it? How is it that they're creating special experiences for students with things that already exist? Oops, sorry. It's not going back. There we go. So now we're going to hear really quickly from a teacher, a parent, and some students.
Good evening, members of the board and Bassett community. My name is Kristen Perlman, and I'm an English teacher at Bassett High School. And while I can't be with you in person tonight, I did want to share about the effectiveness from the teacher perspective of how great community schools has been on our campus. Community schools has offered our students a wealth of resources, whether that be providing them on-campus mental health care options or providing them clothing options through the boutique. And one of the most incredible things that I've seen is students start to break down the unfortunate stigmas that often come with receiving these resources and help. And I've seen our students start to actually have conversations on campus and in classrooms about the resources that they utilize with pride and telling other students that they too should check it out.
And next up, we have one of our parents that uses the boutique quite often. I know it's intimidating.
Hola, soy Juana Hernández. Vengo aquí del Sistema Peregrino, que ella nos ha ayudado mucho, colaborado con lo que tiene la tiendita para los niños de la escuela de lo que necesitan. Y también a mí a veces me ha regalado jabón y pues son cosas pues que utilizan los niños también, como de todo lo que viene ahí de la ropa, lo que gustan los niños, ella se lo brinda pues a ellos. Pues, ¿no? Sí, ay, me lo voy a saber porque nunca había hablado.
Listo, perfecto. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Ahora lo voy a traducir. Okay. I'm going to translate what she just said. So she is saying that she also takes advantage of the boutique and she has got soap and different toiletries and that she hears students also use the boutique as well. And so she's really happy that this resource is here for her and the community. And next up, we have our student, Jade.
Hello, my name is Jade Sierra, and I'm a student in the health pathway. I represent the Wellness Spot as a wellness leader, and the Wellness Spot is one of the many safe spaces at Bassett High School, partnered through the Community Spring Initiative course. As a part of the health pathway, I'm learning about the importance of health awareness in general, and helping to tie with my position in the Wellness Spot as I get the opportunity to spread the awareness to peers. Skills that I am putting into practice will support me as I prepare for senior year, college, and beyond. Thank you.
My name is Caitlin Kingdom, and I'm a student from volunteer track from this country and America. I'm accepted to the National Honor Society for next year. I will be participating in I will get to monitor incoming freshmen the next school year. I will never forget the moment I was able to help guide the PRC boutique last year. I recall looking at the pile of toothpaste, soap, and feminine products, not knowing where I would begin. And as I was organizing all the toiletries that were donated that I was part of something big. I was an active participant in helping my fellow students, peers, and their families, and my community.
Hello, my name is Eric Duncan, and I'm proud to say that I am the very first manager of the BRC Boutique. I started working with the boutique last year when it was just a large empty classroom, and then I did through the business pathway. I am also a student in ASB and a member of the Olympian Student Leadership Council. In the council, we work with other students as well as working with the staff of the Bassett High School, and we work on topics such as PBIS, the school's cell phone policy, and give feedback on the best teaching strategies to keep students engaged. As a senior, I'm glad that I was given many opportunities to participate and take ownership of my learning. I have gained many skills in speaking publicly with adults. I learned the importance of customer service with the boutique, and I learned that I am able to have my voice heard in the Olympian Student Leadership Council. I plan to attend Cal Poly Pomona in the fall, where I plan to take all of these real world interactions and put them to practice. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Eva Pereira, and I'm a junior. I'm an ASB, the Olympian Student Leadership Council, Blooming Oli's Track and Field, Volleyball, and School Site Council. When I first arrived at Bassett High School in the middle of 10th grade, I was in need of brief counseling and close friends. My counselor recommended I see Mr. John regularly in a warm, welcoming place called Margaret's Place. I soon after made friends and began to find my purpose and connected with various leadership opportunities on campus. Although I reside in West Covina and belong to West Covina High School, I choose to stay an Olympian on permit. West Covina High School is not a community school. So thank you so much. And in closing, I just like to say that the reason that this framework has been so successful is simply this: your support of the work. As board members, as a superintendent of a community school, to the dedicated support staff from our principal, Mr. Vasquez, that is key and critical to the daily work that happens in using the strategies and framework correctly and effectively. So as leaders, supporting the framework of true and authentic community school that makes this work. So as a product of this community, thank you so much.
Yes. Before you give out yours, I just wanted to thank you for all your hard work and dedication working with the staff, the students, and everyone. So just we wanted to present you with your own certificate. Thank you. And I mentioned she is an alum of Bassett High School.
Thank you so much. Now, before we leave, I think it's imperative and super important that we recognize all of the students that have put so much hard work into this. So I have some certificates for the students that have helped build this boutique, and it's really making waves and helping the community. So I'm gonna call you guys up. I think you can hear me back there.
Back a little bit.
Do we have Stephanie Alvarez?
Stephanie Alvarez.
Alicia Lang? Natalie Osorio? Eric Roque? Jason Martinez? James Solomon? Eric Solomon? Jorge Suarez. Fernando Abrica. Isaiah Chenter. Easy Lai. Sharon Yi. Nayeli Perez.
Thank you.
Sofia Avalos. Eduardo Lopez. Benjamin Sam. Jasmine Flores. Valerie Hernandez. Caitlin Quintero. Reina Rodriguez Robles. She's coming in. She graduated last year. Ralph Granados. Beth Garibay. Natalie Osorio. Okay, Robert Serrano. Omar Peralta. Daniel Ortiz. Sofia Ortiz. Vanessa Solis. Esli Villaseñor. And then we have two very special ones right over here that without their support, without their help, this would not be possible at all. So I'd like to call up Mr. Colin Griffin. He's our CTE. Last but not least, Miss Yolanda Morales. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, at this time, if there are any questions, here's your opportunity, but I will say, I'm visiting several times, most recently with the deputy superintendent from CD at Department of Education. I do want to say it continues to be a blessing to be able to see firsthand the hard work that's been put into it and the benefits and hearing from the students and how they really appreciate what's being offered to them, not just from the boutique, but from all the services offered through the community schools initiative. I don't even want to use pre-work program anymore. It's framework. So if there's any questions, for the training.
Is it open by appointment or in the afternoons or in the morning or when needed?
Yes, so it's open Mondays, 8:30 to 9:30, Wednesdays during lunch, and students scan a QR code. And so we check that regularly so students can make appointments as well.
And for the parents?
The parents, so we do it on Parent Square and we let parents know, we let students let parents know, so parents will call in, or sometimes when we're just calling to remind them about an event or a workshop, word of mouth, parents really get the word out, and so they come on in, and Yolanda really does a great job of making sure the parents have their time alone in there.
Great job.
Yeah,
Thank you. You're doing so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a collective. Yes, board member Smith.
Not necessarily a question, but just commendation. I want to extend my appreciation for all the work that you're doing with this program. When I was at Rio Hondo and UCLA, in student leadership positions there, we started a framework to create basic needs centers, something comparable to this. And I think it's just so amazing that we have one at Bassett. As a fellow alumni myself, it is really great to see that our community school is manifesting itself as a community school. I think there's some people who think schools aren't a place to be, departments of public health or social services. At the end of the day, having these resources, mental health, basic needs, that's what the kids really need. They can't learn if they're not in a well-fed space. So I just want to extend that appreciation as a board member that this is a great, framework, programming framework. And I'm really excited to see how it evolves. I think this is just the beginning. It's something that I've been on the board for 5 months, but it's something I know has been in the works for years and years. And so great. So just want to say thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Yes, definitely. It's evolving and growing. It's awesome to see. Well, thank you so much.
I just like to say thank you. I really read the statement of the mission. I thought this is exactly what we need. It's what it should be. It's simple as that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for everything y'all do. Community, right? We just had a strategy meeting a couple of weeks ago. That's what we talked about, trying to build a community within the community. So I do appreciate everything they all do with kiddos at the school. It's amazing. Love it. Love that the kiddos came out as well. Let us know what y'all need from us. We'll continue supporting this program to make the program. Thank you very much. Oh, bring it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the amazing pieces that students are learning along the way, not only empathy, but they're learning so many skills.
It also looks like you're giving them a lot of ownership of what they do and pride of what they do and giving them confidence. The young man stated that he gained a lot of ability to speak in front of people because of this. And it goes deeper than that. All those kids are going to take away from this the confidence in self, and that's wonderful that you're giving them the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And just to add on that, the ownership is a great piece of it. One thing I do want to really ask is you also make sure that you're keeping track and making the history of this really student oriented as well. Getting this in the yearbook, making sure you're taking group pictures, making sure that the next year's kids have the same amount of intensity and passion for it, because it could really go away with just the easy of the year. I know with the pandemic, that's a whole half generation of traditions, of knowledge that kind of got wasted away. So please make sure that that is maintained as much as possible. That's the last thing I say on that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's being memorialized, we take pictures, and we make sure we're.
I apologize. I did have a question or probably a request. I was taking some good notes on this, and when you were talking about integrated student support, you did share that you all bring in the kiddos share their thoughts and so on. I don't know how this would look, but if y'all have any data, I would love to see it, what is it that their kiddos are asking for, requesting, and see how we can accommodate them to help them, of course, grow as Olympians.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're taking record and they're writing, we have them in groups and we keep it, we actually tally it and we're keeping track of their asks.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll move into public comments related to closed session. This is the appropriate time in the agenda for those present to speak with regard to only closed session items on the agenda. Only topics specific to the actual closed session will be heard at this time. Topics which do not address closed session items will not be heard during this time and will be heard during open session. The board has allotted a total of 20 minutes for public input on closed session agenda items. If there are several speakers on a topic, at the president's request, the board may reduce the amount of time individuals may speak, requesting that comments be limited to the points not already addressed. Speakers may not reserve or grant any portion of their speaking time to other people. Speakers are requested to maintain order, decorum, and not disrupt the meeting or use profanity when addressing the board. Before we begin, I'd like to share with the board that we have 8 speakers for closed session. This will go over the 20 minutes allotted. Are you all right with going over, or would you like to reduce to 2 minutes?
I'm clear.
Okay, so bringing up first, Joseph Correa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Carrillo, CSCA President. I'm here today to speak on behalf of CSCA about our negotiations. CSCA has made counteroffers to health and welfare and to salary. Our proposals are reasonable, and we take a step in the right direction to invest in our staff so they don't go elsewhere. Our salaries are among the lowest in the area. Our health insurance costs have gone up every year, and CSCA members have been the ones to pay out of pocket due to these increases. The increases have gone up so drastically that without a significant increase to health and welfare, some people are taking home less today than 5 years ago. We cannot allow this to continue. We have the funds now to invest in our people, so please use these funds now to maintain our staffing and attract new members today. We have been struggling to keep up with minimum wage due to little to no COLA increases. It is time we caught up and stay ahead. So I ask the Board of Education, please, let's make Bassett Unified the best place to work in the area. Give guidance to the administrative staff today to offer more than 7% to salary and only $40 a month to health and welfare, and stop splitting up child development. We can do better. And please.
Next, we have Avalon Sullivan.
Good evening, community and non-abusive teachers. I saw the video and I thought it was old because I didn't come last board meeting. I was under the weather. And I thought, you know, it must have been an old video because I saw the circus coming back to town. Does anybody know Valdez, Spot a Dog, so she can stop abusing children? Because she's still doing that and you all know it over 33 years, but good job, Union. Why is there a disparity from children at the high school turning gay? I know 3. I know 3. I know 3. You cannot, oh, now you're the president.
Point of order, Madam President. Is it germane to actual closed session?
Are you guys gonna talk about it? How do I know? Is there a list? What are you guys gonna discuss?
I'm sorry, Ms. Sullivan, this is not related to closed session items.
Okay, no problem. I'll have the problem. Let's talk about closed session because I'm still signed up for that. So anywho, we'll leave that for later. So as far as negotiation goes, I saw a teacher that I truly love, Miss Gonzalez, and honestly, honest to God, I'm gonna do a GoFundMe because she's a teacher that's exemplary and maybe the others will take notes. First of all, she follows guidelines, laws, and puts the child ahead of everything and everyone, and somehow can work with difficult parents like myself with my grandbabies. So I saw her in heart. It is sad to see her with all this insanity and all this vile teachers because she's not like that, but I understand that she has to get paid. Now, as far as pay, I did see the salaries, Dr. Alvarez, you're getting cheated, $20,000. Ms. French got $20,000 more than you in 2021. When they come here and, administration is robbing us. God, Dr. Pinar, you may have over 190 and you're gonna burn in hell, but Jesus, Camis, Nolosco does the same. What are her credentials? Does anybody have her credentials? Are you guys gonna talk about salary or not? Yes, you are. So I'm talking about money and salary and how that affects the community. Dodo Bird, thank you very much. Anywho, so the person that did the last was $128,000, and that was the counselors. I guess that's their paid rate. That was before the 8%, the 3% plus 2 one time, and then consecutive 3. So I didn't add that up, but nobody makes less than 128, the average is 150, 170 nearly for the principals. Where I'm standing here, some of us are really hurting, and maybe they need another job or the pay scale in general to go up. You guys know if there's money in the Swiss account to pay for this or not? I'm not there. But do visit the teachers, especially early Head Start. I will advocate and stand anywhere for them because they are the people that actually do their jobs in this community and the good teachers that don't abuse the children. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. Okay, we have Hector Cruz. Do I have Hector Cruz?
Hector Cruz. Oh,
He left.
well, Hector.
Okay, Ms. Carla Mahaffey?
Good evening, Bassett Unified School District Board members. Before I start, I do need to say that today we had an incident with substitutes, where we actually had substitutes show up to work that were sent home because somehow testing English language learners is not as important as testing SBAC. Okay, I don't know the confusion, but I know that if I were a substitute that showed up to work and was sent home, I would not return to this district. Okay, and the message being sent to the teachers is that testing English language learners is not important. So I had to start with that. Fairness, ethics, values, transparency, good faith, respect. These are the words we hear Bassett speak freely. This is the time to change Bassett's reputation. That is the district's historical actions and inactions in fairness, ethics, values, transparency, good faith, and simply being respectable. Fairness and transparency. Act in good faith and provide all teachers a fair contract on par with surrounding districts. And yes, this includes our child development teachers. I do not understand why the district wants to separate those teachers, especially because they are some of our lowest paid unit numbers. Transparency. Behave in a manner of a role model. Do not engage in questionable business practices or borderline self-dealings requiring outside agencies to investigate. Stop continuing the practices of your predecessors, such as deficit budgeting. This technique is simply a misleading strategy meant to trick people into believing that you don't have money. Be transparent. Past Bassett predecessors used this strategy while somehow believing the school funding was their own personal money until some of them got caught. Respect. Begin by placing value in our roles in the school district. Being undervalued and underpaid go hand in hand, and good education costs money. In summation, the students of Bassett Unified School District need excellent teachers, and the only way BUSD is ever going to be able to get or keep excellent teachers is by being fair, transparent, and respectful. Mediation is tomorrow. Settle our contract now. California Day of the Teacher and National School Nursing Day for tomorrow is also tomorrow, and thank you. Special thanks to all the community members, parents, children, CSCA, even some Montebello teachers that showed up. 38% more than us and just received a 9% raise. And which they all deserve, especially you, Mr. Barajas. Thank you everyone who is supporting the labor unions. Thank you.
Reserve my comments to open session, so I withdraw, because I can't talk about things literally inside of litigation. And you are.
So next we will have Anthony Orozco.
Yeah. Just look up before I make my speech here. I didn't want to say it. I think this is something that the board is up to me on.
regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, we support all students here at Basket School District. And I have that brief. They question whether it's even worth coming to these meetings anymore. It seems as though many of you don't take into consideration the opinions and concerns of our parents, teachers, classified workers who are here speaking. The entire community wants their students, educators, and paraeducators to be able to have a living wage. And yet, some members of this board have taken it upon themselves to say no. Because you attend Bassett schools, you and your students only deserve the bare minimum, not a penny more. That is unacceptable. I stand before you today to remind you of something that I believe we all too often forget. It is the teachers, the cafeteria workers, the secretaries, the custodians, the counselors, and all the other school employees that make a school a school. It is them who greet and educate and care and feed for our students. We often hear school board members and politicians taking credit for the success of our schools, but I ask you this, have you ever stopped to consider the hard work and dedication of the people who are actually in the trenches, day in and day out, making sure that our children receive the education they deserve? It is the teachers who spend countless unpaid hours preparing lesson plans, grading papers, and providing feedback to our students. It is the cafeteria workers who ensure that our students have healthy and nutritious meals to eat. It is the secretaries who answer the phone and greet parents with a smile. It is the custodians who keep our schools safe and clean. It is the child development workers who care for our young students. It is the counselors who provide emotional support and guidance to our students. These are the people who make schools function. Without these individuals, our schools would not function at all. They are the backbone of our educational system, and they deserve recognition and a living wage for the hard work and dedication they put in every second day. And let me remind you, they do all of this while being some of the lowest paid school employees in all of LA County. As a community, we put our trust in you to make decisions that will benefit our students, their educators, and their education. However, that trust is eroded and soon will become non-existent unless this board takes the rational step of offering their employees, their teachers, their custodians, everyone, and their students what they deserve. Just pay them.
Next, we have Robert London.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Alvarez, and staff, colleagues, and guests. I'm Robert London. I've been a teacher in Bassett Unified School District since 1979. For the past 43 years, I have taught grades 1st through 8th at Don Julian. I love it. I can still recall the first time that I came to this board. The occasion was for new teachers and it was an orientation day. The topics were primarily in regard to responsibilities and care. My first year contract salary was $13,000. And my cost for medical, dental, and vision was $0. This care was among the best in San Gabriel Valley. And by care, I mean not only medical and health benefits, but the salary as well. I was on top of the world, grateful, loyal, and as a rookie teacher, I still have that in my heart and mind today, except for the rookie part. However, times change, especially in regard to care, especially salary and health. These costs must be met, and they must keep pace with the inevitable increases. Over the past 10 years, Bassett has made some strides to remedy back to the crucial levels of salary and care to be fair and competitive in the San Gabriel Valley and Los Angeles County. Unfortunately, it has not been enough. Time is of the essence. Now is the time. We can afford to make this happen. We can afford not to do so. As the Board of Trustees, the decision is in your hands, and certainly a difficult one. Yet ultimately, it's the right one to take care of us, all of us. It will make you proud. I promise you.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, board. I'm happy to be here. My name is Laura Aronson. I've been teaching in the district for 30 years. I love my job. I love this community. And I keep hearing that the board doesn't care. That's what I keep hearing over and over. The board doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care. And in my mind, I keep thinking, but that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me that you would go to the trouble to become a board member and not care about this district, our students, our teachers. So I think what's missing? I've had the chance to speak with a couple of you, and I've been very like, wow, I think you do care. I really, really do. And I've been pleasantly surprised by that, because the general feeling that the board doesn't care, I'm not convinced that that's true. So I think, where's the disconnect? What's missing? And the more I look at it, I think there's got to be something that either you're not getting the full picture, and then that started to make sense. And I think we've had trouble having this open conversation with BTA and board members. We've had more of a, we're not going to talk to BTA, we're only talking to the district. And what I want to ask of you guys is to please open up that communication with BTA, with teachers, and to start asking the district hard questions. What are the hard questions to ask them about the money, about the budget, about the deficit budgeting? Those things. Bassett teachers, 26% on average lower pay than anyone else in the valley. That's huge. Why is it that our district cannot pay a fair wage? Let's start asking those hard questions, because I believe that you do care. And if you care about students and Bassett, you care about teachers. Yep. But we have to start finding that piece that's missing. Let's start asking hard questions. Let's start taking care of each other. Thank you very much. Yeah. We move on to public comments related to open session. The Board of Education welcomes input from the public in order to conduct district business in an orderly manner for the privacy and safety of speakers and to help staff respond more directly. The board policies require that public presentations to the board comply with certain procedures, including speakers may only address items that are within the subject jurisdiction of the board. When addressing the board, speakers are requested to state their name, address the board from the podium and adhere to the applicable time limit of 3 minutes. Total time allotted for input on either agenda or non-agenda related items is 20 minutes. If there are several speakers on a specific topic, at the president's request, the board may reduce the amount of time individuals may speak, requesting that comments be limited to points not already addressed. Speakers may not reserve or grant any portion of their time to other persons. Speakers are requested to maintain order, decorum, and not disrupt the meeting or use profanity when addressing the board. Complaints should follow the district's complaint procedure before discussion with the board. Before we begin, once again, to the board, we have 8 speakers, which exceeds the 20 minutes. Are you okay? Okay, we do have one. Okay. There was one that allotted their time. Okay, So moving along, Mr. Frank Vasquez.
Moving forward, I'm going to read a letter from Robert Molina, so start her words. I received a letter along with my monthly medical reimbursement stating that we have been overpaid and asking us how we want to pay the district back in 1, 2, or 3 installments. This letter, written by the senior payroll technician, stated that the overpayments are the responsibility of the retiree. Why is something like this not being handled by upper management and written by to us, a superintendent, HR director, or the CBO? This is not the fault of the senior payroll technician. She's only processing what she has been given by HR. The overpayment made to all the retiree classified employees under the early retirement agreement has been happening for a minimum of at least 7 years. This error falls on the responsibility of the management. When we retire, we are given certain documents signed and be told what our medical are going to be issued to us. This also shows what must be paid by dental, vision, should we continue until the age of 65. This letter is signed by the individual and the superintendent. This mistake was only caught and found because of my check was shorted for the month of April. After making an inquiry to adjust my payment, the fiscal director had the nerve to say that this was my fault and that it's happening because my email said to research my amount. He also stated that this would be considered a gift of public funds going forward. I have no problem moving forward with the corrected amount. However, this mistake falls on the upper management, not on the retirees. I suggest that the board do the homework and have this done correctly. The board are the ones that must make the decision if this is going to be paid back. If this is clear that it's your fault, you can move forward on this. It stated that to me that the only going back to July 1st, 2022, by moving on this funds, the board can make a resolution, make sure that this does not happen and is considered a gift of public funds. As of right now, you do not have my permission to deduct anything that you are claiming is owed. First, as I stated, do your homework and follow the process that needs to be done first. Second, provide me with any other retiree asking, where does this show, what ed code, what law, that the overpayments are responsibility of the retiree.
Thank you, Mr.
I will give this letter in its entirety to the board so we can read it. Thank you very much.
Dr. Cruz.
Is he the one that was in here? Let's see the one.
So Lee Squire.
Lee Squire, Vietnam Veterans, Auditor Fraud Examiner, President and Board. Subject matter, Alex Rojas, Del Terra, fraud, deceit, and dishonesty upon the people and the property taxpayers of this city. First, parents who exercise freedom of speech at school board meetings are not domestic terrorists. To say such an attack is on the freedom of the U.S. Constitution and brings dishonor to every of my brothers who shed their blood for it. Second, Bassett versus Del Terra. I'm requesting a copy of the lawsuit or the full case number pursuant to the California Public Records Act. Public officials accused of embezzlement are subject to criminal and civil prosecution. What is the board's intent on filing civil fraud charges against former Superintendent Alex Rojas in order to meet your fiduciary duties to the people who are really defrauded, the property taxpayers? April 27, 2023 was a hearing on the demur to dismiss 18 felony counts against Alex Rojas. Thank God the judge heard it, heard the arguments, and thank God denied the motion to dismiss the charges on all 18 counts. He moves forward with this criminal prosecution. Third, was the report provided to the Bond Oversight Committee. And fourth, An ACU letter was issued to Central Basin Mineral Water District where Alex Rojas has planted himself on over negative comments against him. Thank God the ACU issued a cease and desist letter. Finally, was the FCMAP report also provided to the Bond Oversight Committee so they also could fill their fiduciary duty to the voters and the property taxpayers? I'm leaving my public comments and the attached documentation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Frank Morales.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Morales. One thing that first I'm gonna touch bases on is there's people out there, you gotta pay them. You have cabinet members that are getting paid very good money that are either not qualified or they just can't do the jobs. Pay the people out there. I read the book. Another thing I want to talk about is me. Somebody has a social media and they said that I was there was an investigation about a sexual assault and sexual harassment. I don't know. Dolores was here during that time. And it was a delivery driver started gossip that I was having an affair with somebody at one of the schools. Mr. Watanabe didn't like me because I voted no on his contract and why they were paying him so money. And of course, Solano was here, so they wanted me out. They did their investigation, and Mr. Rivera, they asked her, and she says, if I have a problem with Mr. Morales, I'll go talk to him. Well, anybody, if you see Mr. Watanabe, ask him what I said to him after the investigation came back zero. You know, Mr. Rivera, you were the only one that I know of that knew of that investigation. So how did this lady Sullivan find out about it? I don't understand that. That's not okay in my book. You know, I understand, and I've talked to, I know a lot of people. You know, closed session is closed session. The five of you are supposed to not say anything. But I understand, Mr. Rivera, you like to talk about stuff in closed session. Don't even go, huh? I know for a fact. Because when I come up here, I talk factual. I don't make stuff up because I don't need to. You know, I talked about the fit map. All of a sudden, you're saying, do an investigation. Next thing you know, you're voting on this contract. And I know unfortunately, you were having some kind of financial problems. But all of a sudden, they were gone. And the next thing you know, you're voting for Delterra. Not once, but twice. That's not okay. That doesn't look right. We're board members. Those people out there trust us, and the community trusts us. If you cannot be trusted, get the hell out. Sorry for my language, but get the hell out. You know, I came here as an old board member, and these people like me. They shake my hands. When you come back, what are they going to do to you? When Paul Solano comes, they're going to try to run him over. And that's no lie. I wasn't a cancer. I did right by my students, by my employees. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Edgar Reyes.
Is there an Edgar Reyes?
Okay, hello. I'm good to start?
Yes.
Cool, thank you. Hey, my name is Edgar. I'm a local community member, and I'm a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation in LA. And I'm just here to urge the board to have good faith negotiations, to actually the administration to have good faith negotiations with the Asset Teachers Association, and to meet their demands too. Our teachers are amongst the lowest paid in LA County and the lowest paid in the San Gabriel Valley. And public school, we all know public schools, public school teachers, they play a critical role in the upbringing of our children, in socializing them and educating them, our future generations. But this board's actions, it doesn't really show that they value this critical work that teachers put in day and night. So it really calls into question too, just how much we all really care about the children. So yeah, it's reasonable to conclude, right, that if these are the lowest paid teachers, the education that they're receiving is a consequence of that. And so I just urge you to give them the fair contract to meet their demands so that the children can benefit from it as well as the teachers. I've heard that the board has said that the Teachers Association is engaging in bad faith. That's just willfully misrepresenting the reality, because the teachers have met time and time again for negotiations, and just because they don't agree with a 0.25% raise increase doesn't mean that they're negotiating in bad faith. I think that's like I said, a meaningful misrepresentation to make the teachers look like they're the ones that aren't willing to move forward. So just once again, please meet the demands of the teachers. They deserve a dignified wage for the critical work that they do. So yes, thank you for your time. Settle the contract, please.
Okay, I apologize if I mispronounce this. Loriana Adriano.
My name is Lariana. I'm a member of Students for Socialism at Mount SAC, and I came here to support the Bassett teachers today. And just from a couple, the hour that I've been here, what I've heard from Bassett teachers is truly sad. Stories about many teachers needing second jobs just to afford basic necessities, about teachers having spent years and years in this district, having to leave their positions because they can't afford the cost of living on their salaries. Teachers having to pay out of pocket for healthcare, all while money continues to flow into this district. There is no excuse for the huge difference in the salaries of Bassett teachers compared to every other district in the SGP. This is not just a fight to raise wages and raise numbers. This is not as abstract and as vague as just negotiations for higher pay. This is a fight for the dignity of people who do some of the most vital and necessary work in our communities to earn living wages. As a community college student who has witnessed a steady decrease of funding for public education, I know firsthand that the quality of education students receive is inseparable from the working conditions and wages of our teachers. Talking to the teachers here, I can see the love and dedication that these people have for their students. And again, it is clear to me that this is not just about the numbers. We're talking about quality education for our children, education that they can't receive if teachers are forced to scrape by on an unfair wage. Give the teachers their confidence.
Hello, my name is Erica Estrada. I am a Montebello Teachers Association member and elementary director. Executive board members here behind me, sorry. And so we're here because we're a union and we are support our union sisters and brothers that are behind us over there. And we are shocked that Bassett students are don't feel like they matter enough, like my students down this way or my students in East LA. Do you love Bassett students? Do you love your community? We love our community. We live here. We live in La Puente, Belinda area. How is it that a board member that's a teacher at Montebello Unified cannot advocate for their own teacher? Because how do you come to a buffet and enjoy the food there without bringing your food yourself, a plate? How is it that you enjoy the fruits of our hard work negotiating? We just got a 9% raise. We love our students. That money is going to go back to our classrooms. Fund your students' classrooms. Fund the teachers, because that money just goes directly to the students and their families. This community, yes. So we are sad. We are embarrassed because just down a few minutes down the 60 freeway, there is a district association that fights for their students. I've been at Joseph Gascon Elementary for 23 years. I've been fighting for the community. I've been fighting co-location. Co-location, charter schools are coming, guys, if you guys are not ready, if you're not unified. Padres, únense con los maestros, teachers, get together with your parents. Start getting some board members that actually do care for your students. These students are like my students. I fight for any student in a public school. I'm for public education. So I'm gonna continue coming now that I know this is going on. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked that this board here is not supporting their students. Fund Bassett Unified Classrooms, fund them. And you'll see great things. Community schools, that's about loving your community. How? There is a discrepancy. Fund all your teachers, go straight to your parents and your students. Love your students, love your Bassett students. Please, it's not evident, it's not evident. And I live in this community. My kids went here to the local schools here in Hacienda La Puente. And I will continue advocating, I will continue to come back. We're coming back, we're coming back. And I'm sorry. It's just.
Thank you, Mrs. Strong.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Norma Gonzalez. I like to talk really loud. I am a product of Bassett Unified School District. And I am the union secretary at Montebello Teachers Association. This is what happens when you support your Bassett teachers. I am a product of Bassett. I grew up in this community. I still live in this community. And I worked in this community as a substitute teacher, right? Okay, so let me tell you what happens when you support your teachers. It means that you support the students.
Yes.
Do not forget who you are here for, the students, okay? I got my bachelor's from Cal State Fullerton, and then the beautiful teachers here, when I was a substitute, encouraged me to go back to school and become a teacher. It's because of those teachers that are outside that I am here. And then guess what? I got hired at Montebello and I was teacher of the year in 2018. What I do now as a special education teacher, I learn from the people that are standing outside in that room. They deserve the best. They deserve what they are asking for. They deserve a living wage. Give it to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Board President, members of the board, community. Just a couple of things. First, I wanted to just reiterate with the Community Schools Initiative Program, great work that's been done over the years, building the framework now, the program framework, and continuing to expand on that as much as we can. Shout out once again to the coordinator, the school site staff, everyone. It's been a great program. And I really am talking to the students and hearing them speak about it, how much it's provided a layer of support that they needed and sometimes isn't available to them in their home or other areas. So just a shout out to them. And then with the visit from Deputy Superintendent Zimmer from the California Department of Education, I will say that in my conversations with him, he is very, very pleased with our framework here. And he actually our site has been visited a couple of times by superintendents from other school districts to see how we've implemented it and take away their ideas or take away ideas from our school sites to implement in our school districts. I do want to, some of you may not know this, but I do want to thank the maintenance departments. They've been working a little bit on the snack bar at Bassett High School. I've gone to several football games and I've noticed they're kind of camped outside. And so we're just working. I asked them to do a little cosmetics so that they can start selling from the inside. So Dave has gotten some of our business people together. Our staff is going in.
I can't hear.
Thank you. They have been putting together some work over in the snack bar, so our parents, our boosters and our Ignatians there can sell out of there. So I just want to give a little shout out to them. Also, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, so once again, I'd like to thank all our certificate employees here, our teachers, everyone, counselors, nurses, everyone. Thank you for their hard work and dedication with our students. And that includes actually just everyone across the nation. So thank you to them. And other than that, thank you everyone for continued support as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Alvarez. We'll go on with board member comments, beginning with board member Barajas.
Sure, thank you very much. First, it's awesome to hear from kiddos, Jay, as a generic. Come and talk to us about what it is that they're doing at this high school. This is phenomenal here. Peregrina, she's putting some great stuff out there, working with the team as well. So I'm just glad to see that that's going well.
I'm sorry, do we have security here? Because I can't hear. I'm a member of the community. If a parent wants to do that,
Ms.
who will be escorted out?
Sullivan, please.
Thank you. I do want.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Barajas.
I do want to thank everybody for coming up here and, sharing their thoughts, sharing what they're seeing, what they're feeling, hearing from everyone that came up here and spoke. I always take notes, hearing a bunch of different things. Mr. London did talk about responsibility and care, something that really resonates in states as teachers, as board members, as human beings. So it was pretty nice to hear the words that he had to say. Again, I do want to thank everyone that came up here and shared their thoughts. Lastly, I want to end it with just reminding everyone this is, we celebrate, we honor our military members in the month of May. So happy military appreciation to all of our veterans and all of those who made the ultimate sacrifice and died in battle to protect our freedoms, our liberties. So thank you all. Hope you all have a great week.
To piggyback on that military appreciation month, I'd like the most important vets in my life. His dad, Mr. Sosa, and my dad. Some of the best influences that Val City's had for their students in the neighborhood. Also, Friday was Food Lunch Lady Day, and we have to thank them because, boy, they sure do make the day for us. Whether it's good or bad, it's there for us. And the kids really were excited to share something with our Food Lunch Ladies. School Bus Driver Day was not too long ago, and I want to thank them. We put our children in their care, and it's not always easy for our bus drivers. There was a tragedy in the next neighboring district yesterday. And it reminds us that our bus drivers have a sacred job to caring for our children, and they do it well. Now the bus drivers have always had exemplary records, as evidenced by one of our gentlemen getting a big award last year. My districts, where I teach, their bus drivers are exceptional. They save kids from burning buses and accidents. And yesterday was a true tragedy. But we thank our bus drivers. Our school nurses, I don't know what we can do without them. The kids are never sick when they're there. But they happen to be there. I have one in my school once a week. And for some reason, the kids are sick every other day like that. But we thank them anyway because they provide great services to us. Obviously, to people that are classified in that element of our district, of this community. And mostly, I'm not saying this because I am a teacher, but having been one, and I thought Mr. London has taught longer than I was, but we started the same year. So, wow. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who is involved with the education of a child because they are our future. And I went on the tirade before it last meeting. I do want to share something. Last Friday, it was also Cinco de Mayo Fiesta at Down Lake. The Aztec dancers were stunning. The flamenco dancers, oh my gosh. There was one of the girls that danced in a white dress with a Boston student. Absolutely beautiful. These kids were so amazing. There was Aztec Dancers Folklorico Food, Family and Fun, and it was packed. And it was so much of my memories coming back, seeing that little area outside the front office being filled with joy and kids running around, grabbing ices and everything else. It took me back, and it took me to a place where communities are where we want to go back to. So I do hope that I know Van Wijk is going to continue that. I hope all of our schools continue with that kind of pushing forward with building community and joy, because there's so little of it these days with the tragedies going on. But I wanted to bring that to everybody's awareness. So please support your local schools. I am glad that that all of our PTAs are now in compliance. I look forward to the time when we go back to having our reflections, competing or presenting on a state and national level. That will be exciting as well. But I'm so glad that our kids got recognized on a district level nonetheless. I wish everybody well and safe and happy days. Our weather is not helping us at all, but just enjoy what we have. That's what we have. Thank you. Good night.
Board Member Shinabel.
Thank you, Madam President. Firstly, I know tonight will be considering resolution for classified employees, the classified employees a week appreciation week. So just want to quickly wish them well. I think we'll be meeting on this board meeting on that week. Tomorrow will also be the day of the teacher, but now being over to celebrate, all certificated staff, former counselors, and nurses, librarians, everyone who, and I think, I appreciate the members of the public who spoke tonight. I forget who spoke on it specifically, but, this is, public meetings of the board. You are the members of the community. We highly encourage you to keep on coming, keep on making your opinions heard. I don't have much other comments aside to just recognize Mr. Barras and Dr. Alvarez on this month with National Military Appreciation Month. As a member of this governance team, I'm happy to support our fellow members in their personal ways, as well as to acknowledge and recognize Stephanie Mendoza as the AFB Vice President. Thank you for the past year you've served with us, and hopefully by the next board meeting, we can do a little recognition for you for your year that you've been on this board. So aside from that, wishing everyone well. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank all the armed forces for all the sacrifices that they made to keep this country free, and their families, the sacrifices they made in having their family members so far away. And I also want to talk about the community schools. It was so great. The last conference that we went to, they presented, I walked in a workshop that had the community schools. And they were presenting, but I think we should start presenting at these workshops, because what we're doing here is so much different than what they were doing. And it's involving the students, it's involving the community, the parents, the teachers, and everybody. So I think, if we could get them to present at one of the workshops in either CSBA or CLSBA or one of those, any of the conferences, it would be great to be represented by the community schools. And thank you to Ms. Elena for all the work that they've been doing, and the students running that boutique is doing it so professionally and getting them prepared for jobs when they go out in the real world. They know how to do resumes, they know how to do interviews or how to get interviews, and that is great. And it's something that they will never forget. I also want to thank all the members of the community and teachers that spoke and gave us their opinions. They're really appreciated and we are heard. And last but not least, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day this weekend. So the most important person that gave us life, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And whether you adopted, whatever they're yours, or just raising a child, for the students, happy Mother's Day to all of you. Good evening.
First of all, I would like to, the Community Schools Initiative, wow, that was a really great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Wish I had come back before my meeting. I met with Assemblymember Rubio on Monday, and I got to brag in El Paso how as far as our Health Academy, got some actual support out there for the Health Academy. So Ms. Nguyen is doing an amazing job there and wants to support as much as possible. I also spoke about the presentation we had with Mr. Castillo did with the students in regards to MESA, and told her how important it is for us to be able to continue this program with the students. And again, I wish I had seen this presentation before I spoke with her, because I did speak about the boutique and how the boutique is giving real life experience to students in the hiring process, in the sales, inventory control, and a touch of marketing also, because they do have to get the word out in order for the business to be successful. So hearing this it's really great, and I think I probably only scratched the surface of it, but she was very interested. I also spoke as far as on the Business Academy about other ways that we can look to expand. She did share with me what other districts are doing. We also talked about AB 938. So pretty much what's the details? What are the details? What is the foundation of that? We spoke about, well, there were some other things we spoke about, we'll leave this aside. So it was a great meeting. It was a great meeting. She actually did more than an hour. With all that to say, I ended up with her aide, and we will be in touch. And as things continue in Bassett, she has asked that I continue to keep her up to date on what's going on. We also spoke about the pool. And of course, times have changed, things have changed. Our bond, as Measure B only has less than 10 million in it. However, the cost of the pool has gone up. I did share, ask for help and support. The pool does not serve just our students. It's going to serve the community. That's going to serve, it's got the ADA compliant, the wheelchair access, which will help for our special ed as well, and as well as our seniors in our community. I also spoke about the tennis courts. I know we're bringing on a tennis team, so I'm very excited about that. And just kind of explained ideas that we have that we could bring to the community, bring things to the community, as well as to the campuses. I would like to thank our military members, Mr. Rojas and Dr. Alvarez, as well as all the military members in the district. Thank you. We live in the land of the free because of the brave, as the saying goes. That's very near and dear. Thank you to our bus drivers. Manny, every morning he comes by my house and I was like, we wave and okay, it's not the man seeing me in my pajamas again. So it's like, oh God. So yeah, so I really appreciate, always with a smile on his face and just very energetic. Thank you, Stephanie, for serving as a student leader, and I appreciate the time and everything that you give to be here, both yourself and Ms. Bustamante. Teacher appreciation. Yes, we do care about our teachers, and I'm thankful to those community that did reach out to me individually and gave me the opportunity to share. I'm thankful to the teachers that have reached out and allowed that opportunity to share. We do care. We do care. And as one of our teachers mentioned, she sees it that we're going to do our very best moving forward to continue letting you know. Okay. I also want to remind everybody, I am very proud of PTA, by the way. I'm very proud of PTA. They're a hardworking team and working into late hours of the night. For community, I'd like to remind everybody that the St. Louis of France Fiesta is May 19th, 20th, and 21st. And I've been held captive for the whole weekend, with the exception of the 19th. Okay, so please come out. This is our parish, community parish. So please come out and help support. And with all that to say, thank you so much. I appreciate the work of everybody. Yes, it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to educate a child. And I do appreciate everyone who is a part of that village. Thank you. So we will move into closed session. Can I get a motion to move into closed session at 7:08? Seconds. it's from Board Member Rivera and second by Board Member Barajas. We will go to closed session. Roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay. Being back at 8:40. Report of action taken in closed session.
Action taken in closed session.
Thank you, Board Member Smith. Moving on to written communications, there are no written communications. We'll move into discussion action items. Bassett Swap Meet, this is a discussion only. Board Member Stanzioni, you requested this to be on the calendar, on this agenda. You have the floor.
I did. In that our students need money to support their activities. And we have borrowed from Peter to pay Paul on some of those activities. I was thinking that we possibly can consider thinking about discussing it at a more appropriate time. Possibly opening the swap meet to where it was in the good old days when the students were. The students would set up, the students would clean up. The students, each group that did it each week would get all the money. So tennis would get all the money for that day. Girls softball would get all the money for that day in cleaning up. Costs would come out of it for the bathrooms. I think we used our school bathrooms at the time now. And security went around with whoever was designated from within the site to pick up the money. And it would just go straight into that. I don't know if it filtered through the ASB. I do not believe so. And I don't even know if I would suggest that. I would just like to see it go into each of those independent activities. Because obviously programs are what engage the students to come and stay at Bassett. And it would not involve Beth at all. I do know that members of our past superintendents and past board members have sat on the Beth board. I'm not in favor of that whatsoever, having them involved, because I counted, I walked through the SWAT meet numerous times, and I would count, I talked to the vendors and add up how much they were making, and that would be such a substantial amount for our children. Each day, each week, and they're out there anyway. They're on 20 Avenue on Sundays. They're on Temple on Sundays. And if we even got $25 for each of those setups where they're on 20 Avenue on Sundays, that'd be more than what our kids had in each of their activities. I was just thinking about that because when it first started, before we brought in a group that was not really tightly associated with the school, before Manuel brought it over from Long Pointe High School because it was in the parking lot at first. And they were going through modernization and they had to move it. They moved it into our parking lot. It started with our kids, and it just seems it would be some kind of viable way to get them some money for their activities because we don't have it and we need it. They deserve it. It's just an idea, and it's just, I just want to put it out there so board members could think about it, have it kind of mull around in their brains for a little while, and maybe come back to the table some other time after they've thought about it.
Anybody need comment? Board Member Rivera?
Yeah, it wasn't run by students, it was run by Booster. And then boosters will let the kids come and either set up and clean up. They would come and clean up at the end, not set up. The adults are set up. But then they started getting hurt and it was a big liability. So that's why they took out the students and boosters just started running it alone.
Okay, well, the
That's what
boosters
they
had an
were
issue.
Huh?
The boosters had an issue.
The booster, everybody that runs that swap meet has issues. Beth had issues.
So, well,
Boosters had
that was
issues.
the issue themselves.
Boosters had issues.
And they did. And I think that if the adults that were part of the district itself, whether it be a designated, our ASB, what is her name? Topshin, even if it went to her to coordinate what week everybody did it, then it fell to our security guys to walk around and pick it up with Ms. Topshin or whoever the coach was, and just eliminate the booster club that had issues, eliminate Beth that had issues. I just would like to see us somehow bring in some of the community money. They've been asking for it, and they're doing it wherever they can anyway on the streets. I would just like to see the kids get some more money that we can't afford it. We're giving them what we can.
What about curb appeal? You've been so big on curb appeal. The swap meet on Point Avenue looks very ugly and they need to street very
It does. It does.
And
look
it
terrible.
needs very,
Right, but if
a
it's
lot
in
of
a
parking,
parking lot,
where would you want it then?
in our parking lot, but our kids.
And that's where it was, in the
Right.
parking lot.
Right.
And curb appeal, you're big on curb appeal. You can't say, let's change the school around, let's do this because of curb appeal. Well, that's very
That's why. it's
trashy.
Yeah. And
That is
that's
very trashy.
But
The
that's.
SWAT is very trashy. On Puente Avenue or any street.
I'm just thinking.
Besides the trash,
Okay.
and at least.
I know.
I know about the kid. I know the kids, we can figure out other ways.
Like.
Maybe, once a month, bring in an artisan or a farmer's market only once a month. Kaiser does that once every so often.
Sure.
You know, and the money could go.
And those
back to-
vendors are part of, I'm just thinking of something maybe outside the box.
Well,
we
our
bring in.
vendors,
As far as the trash goes, you'll pick it up. Pick it up.
Not from the
You don't
street,
leave it there.
not from the street. You don't pick it up from the street.
But we
Okay,
have
the
it on the
curbing,
street.
okay,
They
moving
don't
right,
pick it
moving
up.
along. Does anybody else have a comment? Board member Shivanpa?
Thank you, Madam President. There was a time when I was a student at Bass High School and I actually did assist in the swap meet cleanup. I can't remember the specifics, but what I do remember is because it was a weekend affair. And every other weekend when it would happen, a different student organization would be responsible for it. So it'd be like ASB, the junior class would do it, next week it'd be football, after that it'd be the science club, you know. That is how it was allotted amongst the students, and then those organizations would then get kind of their little slice of the pie. Until 1 year it stopped. I don't know exactly why it stopped, but then that's when the students knew, okay, we're not doing that. And what it entailed was mostly cleanup at the end. What we used to do was not set up, it wasn't necessarily running the show, we weren't assisting vendors, it was just cleaning up at the end. And we're focused to the actual high school stuff, not the street. Where I'm at on this is I definitely am interested in seeing how we could think about bringing more revenue for our students. I think that'd be great to assist with them on any activities, defraying costs. I see some of the costs now for tickets for some of the student programming, and it's getting so big. I do hear, you know, the need to bring in some money back to our schools. I also acknowledge appearances. I am curious about just rebranding it, because hearing, you know, if a swap meet looks good versus a farmer's market, to me sounds like semantics, and however we could, you know, rebrand it so people don't have any type of negative connotation or stigma, I think would be good. However, we can insist in making it look beautiful. If that means that if your vendor comes in, there's a requirement that you have to have a tent, or you have to have a canopy. You know, you have to, you know, have a garbage disposal like at your like side, you know, having certain conditions and terms to make sure that they're also cleaning. If that means I know we're connecting with the City of La Puente on arts, maybe we connect with them on, you know, extra sanitation or code enforcement down that street. But I really don't have any refined thoughts on this. Again, conversation, discussion items, so these are the first discussion thoughts I'm having about it. But I think it'd be more interesting or important to actually connect with those who have done this in the past, whether those who've been at Bassett High School or other school sites who used to work at the swap meet back in the day, and see what their concerns are, what think, you know, what would work for them, or what thoughts they may have on this. I don't know, it's reopening it without really thinking to the past and seeing what worked, what didn't work, what can improve. I think we really need to have that conversation. I'm also worried about putting it all on necessarily the ASB or, you know, the campus itself. I know we are mindful of utilizing all of this, throwing this on the district and making the district responsible for the management of it is kind of iffy. So I think, you know, having just a better game plan on how this would work out would be important before we make any solid commitments.
Do you have any comments?
No, it's just a discussion. I mean, I think I hear you. I think it's starting a discussion, different ideas, different things. I mean, I'm not proposing anything, but I mean, yeah, we do have a young kiddos who are like doing their own little thing in the classroom type of thing. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know the limits. I don't know how far, but just discussion right now. So I'm enjoying listening to you.
I just want to correct you on, the swap meet and farmer's market is not semantics. Because go look at a swap meet and how it looks with everything on the floor, wherever they sell, and go to Kaiser and look at the farmer's market. It's a whole different thing. It's not the same. Okay, so don't say it's the same, it's not. It's not, it's just completely different. And I can bring you pictures of both so you could see the difference on them.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. And where I've seen both, different swap meets and farm market. What I meant by the term semantics in that is if we have a concern on branding, then let's brand it as so. But let's also question ourselves if we are into equity, if we are into making sure that we are, challenging these ideas of, why do we think a swap meet is bad versus a farmer's market?
We have one down the street already, we're gonna get a brand new pool. And so we have these water meets right there and all the restaurants.
Thank you, I appreciate that,
So now we say it, but when they're there, we don't say it.
We have it.
Again,
Oh, it's just that, and that's what I'm saying, it looks bad, have you seen the people on Point Avenue or Temple and Neymar, I've seen them, it looks bad. For a neighborhood, right, where they stand and how they do it.
so again, however we decide.
That's only discussion right now.
Yes, so the rebranding of it and how we use the branding of it, if it's a swap meet, if it's a farmer's market. At the end of the day, if the community's not gonna care what we call it, if I guess it looks a certain way. So I think what's important then is being proactive and having to stand for what we want to see. If that means they have to have certain booths to them, if they have to have certain things that we make sure we're clean.
They got lots of, create something different.
Okay, so,
Yes, I'd just like to share that. I appreciate all the discussion. That's what I was hoping to stimulate. Any way that we can, whether it's rebranding or farmer's market, which is really fun.
Create something different.
Or create something different. I'd like to continue the discussion as we go on and think out of the box, think in the box, make a new box. But come up with some ways to supplement our children's activities. Because they desperately need them, because that's what will get the kids to stay. But thank you, everybody, for participating. That's what I was going for.
thank you, and are there any more comments? No? Okay, so perhaps maybe next time we bring this to the table, we can bring a more detailed plan on how to move forward. Moving on, approval of resolutions. Approval to approve resolution. Motion to approve resolution 040-23 proclaiming May 21st to 27th now classified school employees week. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll second
Board Member Stanzioni, second is Board Member Barajas. Roll call.
it. Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, moving along to item number 12, the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar considered by the board to be items that will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board or public request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent calendar. Do you have anything? Okay, so moving right along, motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Rivera, second by Board Member Stanzioni. Can I get a roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Consent calendar has been approved. Okay, moving on to adjournment. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for May 23rd, 2023. Can I get a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting of May 9th? Board Member Rivera, seconded by Board Member Barajas. Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Oh, I'm sorry. We're like, what are you waiting for?
Aye.
Here's the track closes.
Okay, so we're adjourning this board meeting at 8:55. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you. Have a good week.
Only about 47 years old.